Okay, this is my 61 plate Boyce replication. The box is constructed out of AZAC, which is a PVC 1-inch thick board, which is a plastic type of box, but it's very strong. Got 63 plates, 316L grade stainless steel 6x6 plates. There's a connection on one end for negative, and there's a connection on the other end for positive. All the plates in the center are neutrals. And I don't know if you can tell from the video, but I've used an epoxy to hold the plates in place with 1/8 inch spacing between each and every plate. The epoxy is a 1/2 inch thick on both sides and also the bottom, which gives us a very watertight seal with no leakage. Using a new type of rubber gasket that I found that's 1/8 inch thick. I've got a sight glass on the side fill tube to let me know exactly how full it's going to be. And there's also a water fill system that I will add at a later date. But this box is designed and to go on a big rig truck. We're hoping to be able to boost those. I want to show you a few things that this cell does. In controlling the voltage, how critical it is for the volts between plates. You need between 1.8 and 2 volts per plate for the correct production. And I'm going to try to show you what happens when you overdrive the cell with too much voltage or underdrive it with not enough voltage. And we've got a voltmeter hooked to it, also an amp meter hooked to it. For my controls, I'm using a heavy-duty dimmer switch, which is like a pulse width modulator for the AC. We've got 120 AC going in. We've got a bridge rectifier and a cap to convert it to DC voltage. And I can control the voltage anywhere from about 45 volts DC up to 120 volts DC. And we're going to turn it on. As you can see, the volts coming up. And as we get up around 100 volts, I'm going to stop. And we can start to hear a little bit of bubbling going on, but not a lot. And we'll continue. We're drawing only 0.26 amps at 100 volts. So we're not getting any production to speak of because our voltage is too low per plate. And as we slowly turn it up, let's get up to around 115 volts. We're now starting to get some action in the cell. You can see how well you can see it, but you can see the cell bubbling between the plates the way it's supposed to. And we're now drawing 5.09 amps, which is only about a half to third of the capacity of this cell. I'm going to do it. Running concentration right now at about 20% KOH on the acid. And if I continue, that's bad stuff to breathe. If I continue turning the volts up, you'll notice that the foam gets higher. And it keeps continuing to climb. My amps are up to 6 amps. Bubbles are getting larger. This is about the maximum that you want to run this cell voltage wise. if I disconnect the dimmer switch and go direct to the AC, then I run above 120 volts, and you'll see what will happen. Plug it back in. Now we're running at 120. Well, it was 123, but you can see what happens to the cell. The foam's over the top. It's overdriving the cell, which basically shorts the cell out, and you can see my amps have jumped all the way up to 17 amps. So this is the effect that you get from overdriving the cell, and your production drops dramatically. So running the cell at the correct voltage is very, very important. So some of you guys that have problems with cells overheating, production problems, it could very easily lie in the amount of voltage going to the cell, and the same effect with not enough voltage going to the cell kills production. If I drop my voltage down, you can see it at 116 volts, producing very nice. If I drop my voltage down to even 110 volts, just 6 volts difference, my production drops dramatically. So controlling the exact voltage is very important. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the top on the cell, and we can see the kind of production that it is going to put out at this amperage and this voltage. I've got a thermometer built in the top, so I can watch the temperature of the cell and keep the voltage correct. The temperature of the cell rises very little over a long period of time. I've been running it this morning for about 2 hours, and it's gone from 70 degrees up to about 86. I went to the Larry Jarbo's energy show and tell this past weekend in Charlotte, Maryland, and in southern Maryland, and there was a lot of people there showing the same type of deals with different twists, different ideas on it.